John Weinberg with Photo48.com. Have you ever thought about doing video with your Fuji XT1? Stick around. First things first, I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas Gisbert-Mora. I want to thank him for the inspiration for this video. I've been watching his channel for a while, and I saw a video that he did on the XT1's video capabilities and settings, and I wanted to see if I could get similar results from my setup. And I wanted to go over the equipment that I'm using and also the settings that I'm using as well. So obviously I'm using the Fuji XT1, and on it I have the 18-55 2.8-4 aperture lens. Attached to that I have the Promaster variable neutral density filter. That cost-wise is $120. I found it online for about the same price, picked it up at a local camera shop. Want to support local camera shops as much as possible, help keep them in business, and nice to be able to go in there as well and actually touch things before I purchase them and see how they feel in my hands. So camera stores are important. So that's the filter, neutral density filter, and I'll go into the reasons why for all of this equipment as well as the settings that I'm using. I'm also using the RODELink Filmmaker Kit, and one thing you have to do is you have to get an adapter. The Filmmakers Kit comes with a 3.5 millimeter plug or jack, and you have to get a 3.5 2.5 adapter to plug it into the Fujifilm X-T1. It also works with the X100T as well. All of this equipment also plugs into the X100T, and I use that actually for the opening of this video. The Filmmaker Kit runs around $400. I'm going to have links to all these different items in the show notes, so you can check that out. What else? I'm using the an old Quantaray tripod that I've had for years and years and years, and I've beat up pretty well. It's pretty sturdy and has done me well over the years. It's just a real bare bones basic under $100 tripod. And other than that, it's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. For settings, I am shooting at 2.8 aperture and 1/25th of a second shutter speed. And the reason for the 1/25th shutter speed is you need to double your frame rate from the size and frames per second setting that you're using for your video. So I'm using the 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second. So I needed to double the 60 frames per second to get 120. Closest I could get on the Fuji XT1 would be 125, and that's what I went with. ISO is 400. One thing I learned from Lucas's video is that the native ISO for video on the Fujifilm X-T1 is 400. You can't shoot below that. You can shoot higher than that obviously, but not below the 400. So that's where that's set, and that's where the ND filter comes in. You really can't shoot a video with those settings unless you have some kind of a filter on the front of the lens. Otherwise everything's going to be completely blown out at those settings. And the way the ND filter works, for some people that haven't used one before, is it screws onto the lens. The 18-55 is a 58 millimeter thread, and you thread that on tight, and then there's an outer ring that rotates, and you can actually see it through the viewfinder of the LCD screen getting lighter and darker based on where you're rotating it. And then it's just a matter of doing some test videos to see if you get the right exposure based on where it's placed. For me, it was kind of move it, check the video, move it again, just to get it just right. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do it, and over time hopefully I'll get a little bit better as to reading the ND filter itself to get it to the right spot. Pretty much that's about it. It's a pretty basic setup. I use the focus peaking to get the focus on this. It comes in really handy. I first set the focus automatically and then switched to manual focus and just double checked it with the focus peaking and did any fine tuning that I needed to do. The automatic settings are great on the camera, and I use them to help me out sometimes with my manual settings, and I'll bounce back and forth to get just the right setting I need. It's pretty helpful. And that's about it. Cost-wise, like I said, the Rode Filmmaker Kit around $400. I can't remember the exact cost of the adapter, the 3.5 to 2.5, but I believe it's under $30, $20 or $30 for that. The ND filter, like I said, around $120. You're going to spend some money to get good quality video, and it's not a fortune. I'm sure you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars with equipment with like a Sony A7S or other systems to get better quality video, all the way up to the RED cameras. I'm on a pretty limited budget. I've got some money to spend, but not, I'm not going to break the bank just to do these, simple YouTube videos and interview videos. If I get more into video and people request more of a cinematic style, then, I may look to other cameras. I'm also curious to see where Fuji goes with the proposed X-T2, the next generation of Fujifilm camera in this line. The X Pro 2 came out and has 24.3 megapixel sensor, and I'm curious to see if the X-T2 has the same. I'm also curious if they're going to go with 4K video, and also what the quality is like on that, and if they're able to fix some of the issues that they've had with some of their other equipment. And that's all I got for this video. Once again, John Weinberg with Photo48.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope you check out some of my other videos. And until next time, take care.